Today on the channel, we've got a double review. We're looking at Best of Ruthless Aggression, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Eric Bischoff on the way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Well, I got it figured, back with another WWE Elite review. This time we're looking at the Best of the Ruthless Aggression era Elites, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Eric Bischoff. I got both of these figures. Obviously, by now you already know I'm a big Steve Austin fan. And I got both of these figures kind of in tandem. I didn't get them together, but as a set, they were always going to be a pair. This is basically Stone Cold Steve Austin and Eric Bischoff representing the time that they were co-general managers of Raw in the very early Ruthless Aggression era. So we're talking 2003, 2004. Well, really 2003, because by the end of Survivor Series, Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't co-general manager anymore. So it was like maybe like 6 or 7 months that he was co-general manager along with Eric Bischoff. And in that time, you know, a lot of fun stuff happened. They had a nice on-screen chemistry together. Even though Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't competing in the ring anymore, you know, he still was entertaining everybody with his kind of antics that he apparently has always had, had in him. And yeah, it was a good time. So I always wanted to get this Steve Austin, and I've had him for a little while. Actually, it's Eric Bischoff that I just acquired, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to do them as separate reviews or together. And I finally made the decision to just do them together. So we'll do as we always do. Look at the packaging, take the figure out, pose them up. We've already got figures to compare each other with, so we don't have to worry about that. And get you out of here with some final thoughts. So starting with the packages, first we'll go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So we got Stone Cold in his Stunner Inc. shirt, which he's wearing on the box. In fact, this picture, it was like he had a picture of himself as a GM, and there was one of Eric Bischoff too. This might even be Eric Bischoff's picture when as GM. You know, they had it in the quote unquote office that they had anytime they were in an arena. On the side, once again, Stone Cold with his Stunner Inc. shirt on, GM Stone Cold. You got your Best of the Ruthless Aggression era, or Best of Ruthless Aggression, Elite Collection, True Effects, Certified Authentic, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And on the back, you got some stuff here. So you got the tail of the tape. Stone Cold Steve Austin from Victoria, Texas, 6'2", 1.88 meters, 252 pounds, 114.3 kilograms. Finisher, Stone Cold Stunner. Career highlights: WWE Champion, Intercontinental Champion, World Tag Team Champion. If anyone wants to open their trap, the rattlesnake is glad to stomp a mud hole in it, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. So you also have a cross sell, of course, and these figures were released in 3 figure waves. I actually did a review on Brock Lesnar from the Best of Ruthless Aggression era. He was the only one I got from the series. In fact, I can't even remember who was in it with him besides Batista. It might have been like Shawn Michaels. But you got The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Eric Bischoff. Which two of those we have. The Ruthless Aggression era, Undertaker was cool too. But this isn't the one that I would probably want. I probably want Big Evil. The Big Evil version. And if they ever do one, or if there might already be one, honestly, I just have to check. But that's the one I would want from the Ruthless Aggression era for The Undertaker. And then, of course, Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff is the first time in the line. He's actually looking kind of large because I guess it's like, it's a leather jacket, but it's almost like a suit jacket, but they just, painted it glossy so that it would look like a leather jacket. And they have since released another Eric Bischoff. I think he comes with a WCW ring. So he's wearing like all black rather than this. But this is definitely general manager or co-general manager, as it were, Eric Bischoff. This mask looks like it's like classy Freddie Blassie's mask and head or something. And the funny thing about it is, I remember something about a mask, but I don't remember what. It's probably Eric Bischoff just wearing the mask. But, yeah. And he comes with, looks like a lot of hands, which is interesting. Same dealio. Certified Authentic, WWE. True Effects. Bischoff. You got your tail of the tape on him. From Detroit, Michigan. Height 5'10", 1.78 meters. Weight 195, 88.5 kilograms. Career highlights: WWE Hall of Fame inductee. He's back and he's better than ever. The unthinkable happened when former WCW president Eric Bischoff became WWE Raw general manager. And it was a pretty interesting time. I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it because there's plenty of means of watching it on YouTube, where you're watching right now. So that's enough jibber jabber about the boxes. We're gonna get these guys out and see what we can see. All right, so we got Stone Cold Steve Austin out of the package, as well as Eric Bischoff for all their accessories. And we'll keep going in the same order. We'll start with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then we'll go over to Eric Bischoff. So right off break, you can see Stone Cold just comes with an extra pair of hands, and of course the microphone, which is in his hand in the package. And of course he's got his gold Figaro necklace that he got from Brian Pillman, who wore all through his career. And we'll go over this guy really quickly. So if I remember right, he only wore these camouflage pants at a pay-per-view. I think where he was, having sort of a competition with Eric Bischoff. And he basically got Eric Bischoff so drunk that he was throwing up on Raw the next day. So this is kind of a one-off. But he wore this shirt, several times. And as far as Austin figures go, it's kind of difficult for them to make interesting Stone Cold Steve Austin figures because, well, he basically wore black trunks black boots. It was kind of the thing, but it doesn't necessarily make for the best action figure. But you can, of course, remove the t-shirt, and at which point you could then, switch it out, putting on a Stone Cold Steve Austin with some jorts and some neck and some ankle brace, some knee braces, and he would look just fine with that. Probably won't do that because then, this one's walking around shirtless. But, the point remains, you can customize your WWE figures, and a lot of people do that. As far as his head sculpt, which is a lot of the deal with all these wrestling figures, you get different ones. This is definitely a head sculpt we've seen before. It's just sort of Austin being stern. Another thing that probably would have made this figure better is like kind of a smiling Austin, because during this period he was smiling a lot more, even if it was sort of a evil at your expense, but still a baby face kind of smile. Austin was very mischievous in a sense at this stage. So yeah, there's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then we've got Mr. Eric Bischoff. And it looks like Eric Bischoff, but his face looks kind of fat. He's also rather large. So just to compare him to Stone Cold Steve Austin, they're like exactly the same size, which is definitely not the case. But, when you look at these guys, they have the same exact legs. He's wearing the WWE pants. And so, these figures are larger. I think there's only a few guys that are shorter guys to get bodies of shorter guys, like, your Rey Mysterios and those types of dudes. This is Eric Bischoff's first time in the line, but I believe even the second figure that we got, well, we didn't get him. I'm probably never going to get that figure, but I still, educated guess, he's still the same figure, just with a different look. And so he's really large. So if you're displaying these guys, he's going to look like a wrestler. Even though he's not. But what you get these guys for in a lot of the cases is the outfit and the portrait, and it does look like Eric Bischoff, even if he's somewhat out of scale. And I could go over his hands, but they're just gripping hands. Gesturing hands, and then of course he's got pointing hands. So does Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then he has an alternate gripping hand. No fists this time for Steve Austin, and you can't get middle finger flipping hands in a WWE toy that's sold on a toy shelf. So you ain't getting that. There's ways around it. You can kind of customize the gripping hands into finger gestures if you know how to do it. And I've done that a couple of times. It never really stays. You have to freeze them in place, put them in the freezer, and leave them in there for a long time for it to really work, for it to really take. If you want finger gesturing hands, which, to be fair, Austin was constantly doing during this era. So there you go. There's Eric Bischoff and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm not going to bring in any other figures, so honestly, you could probably just go ahead and move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts. on Best of Ruthless Aggression Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Eric Bischoff. I'm very happy to have these guys. You know, as you know, I collect Stone Cold Steve Austin figures. This is probably his 4th or 5th review on the channel, and it's definitely not the last one. I didn't mention that he has pinless arms for people who are into that. That's nice. And then you got Eric Bischoff. And while I never necessarily cared for Eric Bischoff all that much in WCW, in WWE, I thought he was hilarious. You know, he fired Steve Austin back in the day and then ended up working with him on Raw, and by all accounts, they both had a great time working together, and it was fun to see. You could kind of tell that they were having a lot of fun together, and it was a good set of memories, you know, for me. Now these guys aren't necessarily anything to write home about, because they're just sort of like, you know, the type of action figure that's like, you know, old men standing around in a sense. Stone Cold's got his Stunner Inc. t-shirt, and that's kind of cool. But these aren't like, you know, figures that are actually doing any wrestling. So I'm not going to give them super high marks. I'll give them both 8s. It's probably about, you know, probably about right. So there you have it. I'm giving Stone Cold Steve Austin an 8. Giving Eric Bischoff an 8. I'm a Stone Cold Mark. So there you go. Nothing but fairness on this channel. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Glad I finally got these guys out. And while I don't have a lot of wrestling figures on my channel, there are some that I do have and are waiting for reviews. So high time I got to them. Otherwise, of course, you know, you got your normal Marvel Legends, your normal G.I. Joe Classified, your normal Transformers, all that stuff. Ain't going anywhere. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We're growing the channel. We want you to be a part of it. And I'll keep trying to crank out great videos for people to watch. If you've been around for a while, thanks for sticking around. And I hope you continue to stick around. But I do thank you for all the views. All right, guys. That'll do it for this one. Everybody stay safe. Till next time. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.